Hello and welcome back to my channel. It has been a little while since I filmed anything because I'm gonna be so honest, I did forget. It just sort of fell to the back burner because I haven't been reading as much lately, but thanks to the book gods, I've picked up reading again. It was a rocky journey and I think it was my fault because I kept picking books that were hard to read as I knew I was going into the book slump, and I have spoken about this and about what Frankenstein and Secret History did to me and that I chose the wrong time to read them. So here we are. I'm out of it now. I'm reading again. It feels incredible. A couple of updates also. I got a haircut. If you want to tell me how good it looks, I won't be mad. And the other one is I've got this beautiful new chair now. Makes me feel like a supervillain. Like I'll have my cat. Where is it? This is my little guy Germ. He lives on my bed and he's going to be my cat for the sake of this video. So yeah, meet Germ. I hadn't planned on filming a video today, but then I thought it's been a while. It's been a little while, so maybe it's time to have a little chat, a little book chat. I just returned all of my books to the library too, like this morning. So I didn't even, like, that's how unprepared I was for it, because I thought I'm not going to need these, I'm finished reading them. But I had a huge stack. I've been reading lots of like short little books to help me get back into the swing of reading and like prioritizing that over being on my phone. So yeah, I think I had in there, I was trying to read Aragon because I thought I wanted a little fantasy to ease me back into it, and it was good. And I was reading it, I was like maybe a quarter of the way through, a little bit more, or close to half, and I just wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't that I didn't want to read, it was I didn't want to read that, because it felt like there was a lot of things happening but nothing happening at the same time. Like you would be walking through the desert or whatever for ages, and then it was like, oh my god, there's a fight scene, and then nothing. And it would be like these tiny little bursts of, which is what, you know, epics are, but it just wasn't floating my boat. Also, I could have sworn that I had read it, and that was not the case. I had not read it. I've obviously read some other kind of dragon book and just connected them both, because I have this memory of a boy in his like second floor window during autumn, and he gets an egg. And I thought that would be Aragon, but it wasn't. So yeah, the book that actually really kicked me out of my reading slump, surprisingly, was The Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. I didn't really know much about that book going into it. I didn't really know much about that book while I was reading it. But yeah, it was really interesting. It took me a little bit to get in because there were so many characters to start with, and then the characters and the relations between all the characters. But somehow, like, I usually get very like, whoa. And I read the first maybe like chapter or two, and then I put it down for a while. And then I picked it back up because I didn't want to read Aragon, but I didn't have anything else to read. And I picked it up, and it hooked me. It was so good. And it's one of those books where I'm like, I need to talk to someone about it so that they can explain to me what they think happened, so that I can make my judgments about it. But it was really interesting, and like the relationships between all the characters, it was a very character driven book, which I don't think I read a lot of, like not on purpose, it just doesn't come up in the books that I read, but like it does, but not to the point where this was about the characters. If you didn't have these characters and the intermingle story, like it was about the family of the main character, the main character. But it was just so good, like the way you'd be reading about one character and then she just flips. It was like watching a play. Like one character walks in and now that's the main character of this scene. It was so good. Obviously there was a ton more reasons why it was good, but that was something I noticed and I really enjoyed. But yeah, it was a very good introduction to Toni Morrison because I've never read anything by her before, and it just really gripped me. I was reading like I haven't read in a long time. Like I was page after page, I'm like, oh, I should go to bed, but I want to know what's happening because it wasn't easy to follow, but it wasn't not easy either. It was just a confusing with all the characters and the relations, like I said, but very good. Recommend it. I think I rated it 4 stars, but you know, stars mean nothing, but it was a good book. I would recommend it. The other thing that happened, I hit my Goodreads goal. I hit it like a couple months ago because I think I only had like 35 books, which for me is quite a feat because I don't read very often. Well, as much as I'd like to, but this year I've just been like chewing through books, and not because I read the short ones, but that's still valid. But yeah, it just, I don't know. I think at the beginning of the year I hit it really hard, which I hope that I get to hit it really hard in 2025 as well. I feel like that could be a possibility because I'm back in my reading grind. I'm like, I want to reread The Hunger Games. I want to reread, I want to read Wicked because the movie came out and I've been meaning to read it for years and I just haven't got around to it. And now that it's like really popular in the media, everyone's talking about, oh my God, this happened in the book, that happened in the book. And I'm like, okay, finally, fine, I'll read it. I haven't seen the Wicked movie yet, but I'm so excited to see it. I've been a Wicked fan for a long time. My cousin and I used to sing the Wicked songs at our family Christmases. We would take our parts, and I think I was usually Glinda because I had a high register. Not that I really can sing very well at all, but yeah, I'm excited to see the movie. I've heard that it was really good. I didn't know it was going to be in 2 parts though. There's like 6 hours worth of Wicked. I'm so excited. I keep holding my hands like this because I don't know what to do with them, and as I said, I'm a supervillain now. The books that I picked up from the library today, I've only got 2 for the moment, but I've got 2 more on like on request because the library doesn't have them yet because they're new, and don't ask me what they are because I can't remember. But the first one, we've got The Last Magician. I'll put the other one down. We've got The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell, which is about New York and how it's got this, so it's like a fantasy, so it's got this bubble around it, or it's got some sort of spell that when people with magic, which I believe there's not many, magic is extinct because they set this bubble up, and when you go in there you lose your magic, you don't have it anymore, I think. But it's about the main character Esther, who is, her magic is time travel. She can manipulate time. She can't time travel, she can manipulate time. I don't know what the difference is, but there's obviously a difference. But it's about how she goes back in time to 1902 New York to steal an ancient book containing the secrets of the Order. So the people who created the bubble around New York to stop the magic. I wonder if it's only New York that doesn't have magic, or if it's everywhere. I don't know. But I feel like I've heard of Lisa Maxwell before. I haven't read anything by her, I don't think. Oh, you've got a map, a very simple map. I love a simple map. Whoops, oh my God. I love a simple map. Schwab Mansion. Nope, doesn't say anything in there. But I'm not reading this one just yet because it is a series. I don't know how many are in the series, but I thought I'd give myself a little bit more time before I jump into a new series. Not that I've ever finished a series in my life, but I have. But you know, I have to read like 1 book a year, so normal publishing schedules work for me because I'm not about to sit down and read a whole trilogy or more than that in one, like in a row. I can't do it. My mum loves to read like whole 7-book trilogies, one after the other, and I just can't do it. It blends together in my head and I get bored with the story, and I'm like, ugh, as good as it is, it could be the best thing I've ever read, and I'm not reading them one after the other. Like back in my heyday, when I was about 12, easy. I'd knock out the Maze Runner trilogy in 3 days. You know, same with the Hunger Games, but not anymore. My attention span, so I do need a new book and a new story, but not a new book with a new story that's in the same series. I don't enjoy them very much at all. Life as We Knew It the Last Survivors series, I did like them, and I did listen to the first two one after the other as an audiobook. But my library doesn't have the third and the fourth, so I might have to put another request in for them, because I really enjoyed those. They were pretty, I just love an apocalypse though. So speaking of, Severance by Ling Ma. This is a book about the Shen fever, which takes over the world and turns people into like a zombie, but not a real zombie, not like a brain chewing zombie, just people who aren't quite there anymore. The back says a millennial drone, and in my head I'm like, oh, she's a robot. And I'm reading it, like I'm not very far in, but I'm reading it, she's like, oh, I went to high school and this happened, and then I moved to New York, and I'm like, you're a drone. So I misunderstood that. She's just a millennial. She's just a millennial. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Love a dystopian. The Things That Keep Us Here by Carla Buckley. One of my favorite books of all time. It's just, if you want to feel like it's so good. And honestly, I read it before COVID happened, and then I reread it after COVID happened. Pretty insane how close she got it. Like, it wasn't in the book, it's a bird flu. It's just, and how fast it's just incredible. That's one of my biggest recommendations, is The Things That Keep Us Here. But yeah, so that's my little mini reading update, and my chair update, and my journal update. So yeah, I think that'll be all for me today. It's just a cheeky little video today. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.